What up, nerds, and welcome to another endlessly unknowable episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 582, recorded on Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Tonight we're talking about a brand new release, Backrooms. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, we got your boy calling in from Washington, D.C., Uncanny Randy. What's up, man?
Hello! What's up, baby? Let's get in the back shots of the back rooms, baby. Is it too early to be
there it is.
Making deeply sexual references? YouTube's probably not going to love that.
I was going to say horror is so back rooms.
Horror is so back shots.
So
yes,
back
we all
shots.
agree.
We're on the same page. Speaking of back shots, last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boy Soju. What's up, man?
Back shot Soju. Here he comes.
Oh, what up? It's your boy, the space between stains.
Wow, a Matthews reference. God damn.
Space between.
If it on the page.
Bob's wicked lies. He tell.
Blu-rays cost $20.99.
Oh my God. Nobody's going to believe you're 10 years younger than us now.
Yeah.
Oh, they believe what I tell them to believe.
Guys, stop being so chuggy. We're talking about the back rooms today.
Oh, yeah, this is hip new stuff.
Kicking it with the kids, you know?
Oh, Bob, don't say
We're about to be
liminal horror.
You've already got a reputation, okay? You can't be
this shit's going to be bussin' no cap.
That is no cap.
I am told that they say. I'm determined to ruin every amount of slang that I can possibly get my chuggy little fingers on.
You're gonna ruin it. Everyone's waiting to hear what you have to say.
If I say the fucking word, it is dead. Definitively.
Damn.
Nobody can be cool while saying slang that I have said.
Jesus.
Right on. Well, thanks for ruining everything, Randy. Appreciate you.
It's the goal.
Yeah, Backrooms is breaking a bunch of like box office records, I guess. So I just saw a headline pop up saying that it's the highest grossing original horror movie opening weekend of all time. So it's sitting at like 118 million right now.
It was kind of between, because Jaws held it for a while, and then we talked about Chronicle. Kind of, it's not like straight up horror, but now this is broken at 20. 20 is going to be hard to beat, boys. Some teenager's going to have to come along.
Dude, he's super, super young. The director, Kane Parson.
And break it later, yeah.
It's definitely the biggest release by a director of his age, is what I just read a moment ago.
No, I think, of all films, it's like the youngest.
The biggest. Crazy. So it's the biggest opening weekend for an A24 movie. Yeah, he's the youngest director of all time to hold a #1 movie in America, and apparently the largest opening weekend of any original horror IP. Which, this is like, original, I guess, but it's also birthed out of creepypasta stuff, so I guess there's like some room for interpretation there, I suppose.
Oh, we'll get there, baby.
We will get there. Obviously, this came from, if you're unfamiliar, Kane Parsons has a YouTube series called Backrooms, and this came from that. So, yeah. Before we get into it, though,
kind of, Bob, kind of.
It's totally different. Same director,
of the history,
but it's completely different.
It's okay.
Before we get into it, though, let's tackle just a little bit of housekeeping real quick. Final reminder, you've got a few hours left to vote as of the time of us recording this, so June poll is pretty much locked in, I guess, right now, unless something crazy happens. With Knock Knock being the winner, it's sitting at 47% of the vote. Return to Sleepaway Camp still at 42, so, it could swing.
Oh, don't speak too loud, Bob. We don't want the cabal to hear.
The old cabal and Shane is going to jump on there. Big fan of Return to Sleepaway Camp, I'm sure.
The cabal loves what it loves.
Probably Knock Knock winning that one. But that does mean at the time of you listening to this show, we do have a brand new poll currently posted for you over on Patreon, the July poll. The theme for July is a very Gyllenhaal July. We got 3 Jake Gyllenhaal movies for you to vote on. They are Donnie Darko, Nightcrawler, and Zodiac.
Hey.
Oh, man's got his own poll. We predicted this a couple of months ago, and here we are.
Predicted it. We just said it and then did it.
Hey, you know what? When we said that on the last episode, we should do that.
we predicted that.
Sometimes we follow through. It's kind of wild.
Once in a while.
We're running thin on poll ideas.
Yeah, it's not like there's a whole lot of other conversations happening.
We have a giant list of options, honest. Like,
I'm sure you do, Bob.
You have access to it's a shared file.
It's shared, damn you. Are you telling me you haven't read the file recently?
The file.
Oh, yeah, that
it
file.
Is in the file.
I didn't know that you were talking about that in file.
That file. Oh, the file with the poll options. All right. We got.
They're talking about the other file.
We got no numbers because it's not June yet. But yeah, go ahead and get your votes in. We'll see what that poll's looking like on next week's show. We're dropping mini casts every other Friday over on Patreon for you guys as well. Next up, dropping this Friday, June the 5th, you got your boy Bob talking about a movie called Passenger. Check that out for you. It's the worst horror movie that came out in May, but that's a really high bar. May was fucking crazy.
There's a ton of
It's been a good month for horror.
It kicked off with Hokum and then Obsession and then Passenger and then wrapping up with Backrooms here. Yeah, May has been out of control, honestly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe a big summer too. We still got stuff heading our way.
Yeah, I know.
Drink full and descend.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through the year. Usually, I feel like halfway through the year, you might have a couple bangers, but to have like 3 in 1 month is just kind of fucking crazy. But
yeah,
we're living it. We're loving it. Check out Passenger dropping this Friday. That is all we have for Patreon. I will say we're gonna reopen the You Pick the Flick tier on Sunday, June 28th. So mark your calendars.
Oh, whoa!
You got about a month.
It just means more shit I gotta do now.
It's like 4 weeks away.
That's true. More shit I gotta do. So this is the only way for you guys to outright pick a movie for us to review on the show.
You got to collect all that money. Damn.
God, collect and count and swim in it.
Count it all.
Damn
I got to move it into my bank and swim in it.
Oh my God.
And then
it's going to take like 4 minutes.
I gotta count it gold coin by gold coin.
Well, I'll let y'all do it since it's so quick and easy.
We're just normal men.
Just normal men. Yeah, so Sunday, June 28th, this is the only way for you guys to outright pick a movie for us to review on the show. There's going to be 5 spots opening, and this is it for the year. 5 spots for the second half of the year. That's how we're going to be doing it. And because they're so slim, if you got a pick for the first half of the year, that's it.
Except Nos. Nos is the only exception.
Honestly, yeah. Nos just picks eaters. So
Nos can get all 5, really. I mean, if he's got the scratch,
and the winner
we got
is
the time.
Nos 5 times. Damn.
He's the only one that seems to care, I guess.
This is all above board.
Yeah, only 1 pick per person for the year 2026 is what we're gonna do. So mark your calendar, Sunday, June 28th at an undisclosed time of day, by the way. Just got to check it. Check our Patreon and see if it's up there. That's all I got. You guys have anything you need to plug?
Ooh, no, I don't.
I don't think I do, Bob.
Oh, shit.
Sounds like a clean house to me.
Squeaky.
This house is clean.
All right, let's get into the main event. We're talking Backrooms, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Randy, that's a little too millennial cringe for me, if I'm being honest.
Both of you.
Both
ruining my life.
Yes. Randy,
you just keep on chugling, my guy. You're going to be fine.
Unks over here.
Fucking
I'm Unk-maxing, bitch. Fuck you.
God damn. You guys are a real problem, you know that? We're talking Backrooms. Brand new release, just came out a few days ago. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 50 minutes. Like I said, this was written and directed by Kane Parsons. This is his feature-length film debut. And this stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, Renat Renziv. Man, I know I fucked that one up. Mark Duplass. That's nice and easy. Finn Bennett, Lakita Maxwell.
Double ass.
Some other lovely folks. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. After a therapist's patient disappears into a dimension beyond reality, she must venture into the unknown to save him. Fellas, would you recommend the folks at home check out Backrooms? Unc Randy, kick us off.
I mean, yeah, I would. I think, I don't know, man. Like this Backrooms entity, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, it has been around for a long time. If you know of it and you enjoy it, it's worth watching in a theater. It's just a very unique kind of way to experience something that has up till now not been available that way, if nothing else. And other than that, pretty good movie. So, yeah, recommend.
All right, Juice, what about you?
I'm going to give a loose recommend. I don't think it's a must to watch in the theater, but I had a good time watching it. It's kind of ironic that it's in the theater since it is born out of this kind of lo-fi, YouTube only type of thing. But yeah, it's big horror for the year. And yeah, loose recommend for the theaters. Generally, you should watch it for the year though. Bob, how about you? Would you recommend people check this out?
Yeah, this is a recommend for me. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. And I will say my theater watching experience was subpar. But even in the face of that, I thoroughly enjoyed my experience watching this in the theater.
Oh, we should compare notes.
Yeah, you got some stories too?
Just one, but it's funny. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Mine was quiet and respectful.
Dude,
oh, you fucking Koreans and your citizenship.
You Korean.
I don't know if you knew,
you
but I live in
Korean
Korea.
people.
See here.
I did not know that.
Oh.
Actually,
I think Miles specifically wanted to know about that too.
Yes.
So here I am. I live in Korea, if you didn't know, and it just makes things a little bit better.
That's interesting.
Korean Backrooms are notoriously much better than American Backrooms.
They go on even better. More forever.
Oh man,
that sounds like a general recommend. Maybe not fully for the theatrical experience, but a definite recommend as far as watching this film. We're going to be spoiling the shit out of it, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Randy, what tomfoolery did you have to endure?
I mean, it wasn't much. There was just a gentleman in the first few minutes of this movie who was sitting like one row ahead of us, a few spots down, that during one particular scene in this movie that was a comedic moment, laughed the most unhinged, drunken ass laugh I've ever heard in my life.
Damn.
And like
was that maniacal?
Pierced. It wasn't maniacal. It was like
damn,
like way outstripping the comedic value of the moment, and then shut the fuck up for the rest of the movie. So I mean, good on him for that part of it. But like, I feel like he was dared to do it. I feel like maybe he was an impractical joker or some
hey,
shit.
Man, you need to calm
maybe
the fuck down.
She's like, hey, you're being the problem right now. You need to shut the fuck up.
You are the
Laugh
problem
quieter.
you bitch about often. Bob, why was yours subpar?
Yeah, tell us about yours, Bob.
So we got into the theater. I went with a couple of friends, and maybe
okay, I'm sure
big leaguing us with your friends.
We with a couple
shit.
buds, like 3 or 4 seats down from us in our row. There was a couple that had a conversation throughout the entire movie, like quite literally the entire movie, never shut the fuck up. And like 20 minutes into the movie, this like older couple. They're probably in their 70s. Came in, and it's assigned seating in this theater, and they came up to my buddy that was sitting on my left and was like, "Hey, I think you're in my seat." Mind you, they're 20 minutes late. And there's plenty of open seats all over the theater. They could have just sat anywhere if they wanted to. But they showed him their ticket, and sure enough, yeah, he wasn't in their seat. He's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll move.
Oh.
So he scooted over, and they sat down, and they only lasted maybe 20 minutes because this couple next to them wouldn't stop talking. So then they left and went and sat somewhere else anyways. Which, I don't know, all of this was like, it took maybe the first half of the movie for all of this to happen, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So now there's nobody in between me and the people that are talking, so I can hear them even more clearly, which is frustrating. And then that just continued.
Who goes to a movie to talk?
I don't know, man. Just go home. Just like go talk anywhere else. Really, just
why would you do that? It's like the one place that you pay to go that you shouldn't do that. Literally, any other place you pay to go, you can talk.
The only excuse you can have is being Nick Nolte in Cape Fear. Otherwise, fuck you.
There were some probably early 20-something. There's a lot of early 20-somethings in my screening, and several screenings were sold out on a Thursday night. But they were like sitting up towards the back of the theater, and I assume they were somewhat familiar with the Backrooms YouTube series. But like certain things would happen, and they would freak the fuck out. Like they were fucking loving it, and that doesn't bother me by any means. That was kind of cool.
If it comes from enjoyment of the film, it's usually okay. But like,
but not laughing.
But the laughing. If your laughing outstrips a fucking literal hyena, then you've reached.
Don't laugh around a point of no return, or he will hate you.
Your enjoyment is a problem.
All right, Bob, hit us with that plot synopsis.
Yep, let's do it. In 1990, Async Corporation scientists are watching a video of a researcher exploring an unending extra-dimensional place known as the Backrooms. As she looks for an exit, she's killed by a large black creature. We then jump over to our furniture store owner, Clark, who is struggling with alcoholism, recent divorce, and his failure to become a successful architect. He's seeing a therapist, Dr. Mary Klein, who is dealing with her own trauma about her schizophrenic mother and the demolition of her beloved childhood home, as we see in several flashbacks. Clark calls an electrician to look at the wiring in a store because his electric bill has substantially increased. The electrician discovers a couple bizarre-looking breakers in the breaker box that don't seem to do anything. Clark is sleeping one night in the store, and there's some more electrical irregularities that cause him to go down into the basement, where he sees a sort of seam in the wall. He touches the wall. He's able to pass through it into the back rooms. He explores...
A seam in the wall, you say?
A seam in the wall.
He's jumping right through the seam.
He explores several uncanny rooms.
There's a seam in the wall.
Filled with bizarre furniture. He hears someone coming towards him. He's able to find the wall and pass back through it. Clark excitedly tells Mary what he's found, but she doesn't quite believe him. Clark enlists two of his employees, Kat and Bobby, to help him explore the back rooms. The three enter and lower Bobby down a steep, slanted corridor via a rope. He sees a creature, and they quickly pull him back up. The creature pulls the rope tied to him, and all three fall down the corridor. Bobby is killed, but Kat and Clark run away. Clark runs through this bizarre pool room and finds a spooky Christmas tree room with human-like entities inside. We see something come up behind Clark, and it cuts to async scientist Phil, watching all of this from his surveillance system. Sometime later, Mary receives a voicemail from Clark saying he won't be back, and she goes over to the store to check on him. The door's open, and she finds her way into the back rooms. A crazed Clark finds her and chokes her out. She wakes up tied to a chair in a weird dining room. Clark and three other human-like entities are there. He explains the back rooms is a poorly mimicked version of every place that ever was. He also says the creatures inside cannot feel pain, they just exist. He then stabs one guy and pulls his foam guts out so they can have him for dinner. He then opens the refrigerator and reveals Kat's severed head inside. Clark insists they continue their therapy, but Mary chastises him about constantly making excuses for himself instead of taking responsibility. She eventually agrees that he doesn't have to leave the back rooms and does not have to change in an attempt to placate him. It works, and he unties her. This change causes the entities to become upset, and a giant disfigured version of Clark's pirate character from the local TV spot he recorded for his furniture store walks into the room. Clark tries to calm it down. ensuring that he doesn't have to change, but the entity eats Clark. Mary runs off and it chases after her. She eventually makes it to the Backrooms version of the furniture store that's been rigged with several bottles of compressed gas that are triggered when Mary knocks over a cardboard standee. The gas slows her and the entity down. She's able to bash the entity in the face several times with her beloved childhood keepsake, which is her concrete hand imprint from the driveway of her childhood home. This allows her to follow the hoses into another room filled with scientists. They escort her out of the Backrooms into their labs, where she sees the entity has been captured and is being studied. She is held in an interrogation room where scientist Phil explains Async Corp was an MRI company until they discovered the Backrooms. Now their mission is to map out and understand the Backrooms. He asks her a series of questions, which feels useless because they both have observed and largely agree the Backrooms are unknowable. We then see some Backrooms versions of Mary's childhood home and a human-like version of her sitting in an interrogation room in the Backrooms, and then we roll those credits.
I don't like the look of it.
There you go.
Oh boys.
Where do we start with this?
Well, let's do like a little bit of maybe place setting with like. So I know we discussed Skinamarink whenever that came out a few years ago, and that's probably the most like liminal horror movie I think we've reviewed to date. But if you're unfamiliar with like the liminal,
the Cube might be I don't know.
Cube's up there. But if you're unfamiliar,
we covered it a long
kind of
time
a specific
ago.
thing that's hard to define. So, but yeah, I'm sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's a subgenre that builds terror through the uncanny atmosphere of empty transitional spaces. Liminal. The actual definition of the word liminal is in between or situated on a boundary, from the Latin limen, meaning threshold. Also,
It's Tuesday Lemon.
It's the space between
the analog,
Bob's
precisely,
wicked
lemon
eye.
and lime.
Analog horror is another sort of like horror subgenre, largely birthed out of YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And it's from the internet, a chilling subgenre of found footage web series that emulates the lo-fi aesthetic of the late 20th century, such as VHS tapes, emergency broadcasts, and public access TV. And this movie kind of plays in both of those spaces because it's like a traditionally shot movie, but whenever they enter the back rooms, the characters in the movie are carrying around a 1990s VHS camcorder, and we sort of
Sometimes.
get a POV through that lens. Yeah,
because it's set in 90, right? Isn't that the date? Yeah.
Yeah, or close to it. Yeah.
Because there was a date on one of the video cameras or something.
Well, there was definitely one at the beginning, and I thought they were going to jump to modern day.
I thought so
but
too.
They didn't seem to. Like, it didn't seem like they did that.
No, because the furniture, the TVs that they use, I think it's all set in the 90s.
It's all very Gen Z's understanding of what the 90s looked like.
90s chic. I mean, some of that furniture, like
some of it worked. Like the couches in particular were spot on for sure.
I think the doctor's couch when she's in her house watching the
that
TV
one
for commercial, I was
hard.
like, yeah, we know couch.
I've seen 3 dozen of those every year of the first 10 years of my life.
So just to get kind of a base understanding of what we're talking about, I think it's really interesting though that Gen Z, and it makes a lot of sense. I think that Gen Z people that like really were born after the internet was very well established are sort of, I don't know, considering the 90s in such a way, because like it obviously the internet was like sort of in its fledgling state back then. Not everybody had a high definition camera in their pocket. They could film you doing anything at any given time. And like,
but they did have mail.
They did have mail. But like, I don't know, it makes sense that they would be curious about a time like that, because the internet is obviously not doing what it was intended to do and is not exactly bringing all of us closer together in harmony. And it does sometimes feel like this endless void that will go on forever, which is like, I think, an sort of analogous to the Backrooms themselves. The sort of like shitty reflection of humanity, that like isn't quite right, but looks kind of familiar.
Well, it's definitely like even canonically in this film, like a reflection of humanity, because it's a reflection of like the things you half remember, basically, and it is defined by the people that enter it, the people that go in there, they leave whatever half memories they have. Yeah, it's you leave ripples of yourself in it.
I like
which
that.
I think
that also makes sense with like the sort of analog horror thing, because like it does seem, they say like it's the Backrooms themselves is almost like a copy of a copy of a copy. It just doesn't look quite right. And I think when you look at stuff that was shot on VHS, it represents real life but doesn't look quite right. It's grainy, the color is off,
it's crisp and beautiful. What do you mean?
It's like a memory. It's like a physical tangible memory. It's I don't know. All that stuff is really interesting to me. Like why it is appealing to a younger generation is really interesting for me to think about.
I would actually argue like the Skinamarink, I would say, is more analog horror than even liminal horror. Like to me,
Sure.
I think it's a bit liminal in the way it plays with the hallways of the house.
Yeah,
the
but that's very
bedrooms of the
specific
house.
but it's also like a full house. Like you're in a living room, which is not definitively not in its and of itself a liminal space.
But it's empty. That's kind of the aspect of it too. It's like a space that's supposed to be occupied by people that's devoid of people.
But it's also like a transitionary space. Like you're not a living room is a place you spend time in. Liminal space is a space you walk through to get somewhere else.
These office buildings are like if you're looking at the definition of a liminal space, not a liminal space, because they'd be filled with desks and people working in them and stuff. That's another thing I was thinking about though. Like they have sort of become liminal spaces as they're abandoned because like AI is obviously running rampant and taking people's jobs, or like, evil corporations are just finding ways to like slim down their workforce, or a lot of people are just working from home now too, since the pandemic.
Just called the police.
So like there's like tons of office buildings all over the place that are just sitting vacant now and have become liminal spaces when like they weren't initially meant to be that.
Vacant places. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, like there's a lot of interest in liminal spaces, but like I think even amongst folks that use that term, it's not that well understood.
Yeah.
And so like I don't like to like hang my hat on that or analog horror or anything like that. Like I would say that like the Backrooms is more than anything else, it is a campfire tale for the modern era, and it's not the first, but it is one of the most prolific. And Kane Pixels is one of the most prolific voice within that subgenre before this film got made. So like it is like plucking somebody out of like it's like picking like I don't know the most accomplished version of a folkloric story out of obscurity and throwing money at it. That's basically what A24 has done here, and allowing this young creator to do this. I don't know. I like a lot about this. Like, I think that ultimately, and this is like a little bit of a spoiler for the end of my review, but like, I'm not totally convinced that this is like, I think this is a great way in for Kane. I don't know that I would like to see him do something else. Like, I don't know that he's proven himself beyond a vastly intriguing concept.
Well, I'm not like super familiar. I haven't seen all of even the work that he's done for the Backrooms, and I know he's not the only creator that has contributed to it either. So that's the big thing.
He is one of the best, if not the best.
I know, yeah,
for sure.
But even so I guess my point is I haven't even explored all of his stuff. But one of the things is I was thinking about this. I think it's a little bit ironic that we're talking about it's set in the 90s and, we're talking about the grain and how things aren't perfect. But, when these were getting popular and stuff, AI wasn't what it is now. It's rapidly developed over the past couple years, but it's kind of even like, so one of the main kind of points of this actually made me think more about AI than it actually did older things like the 90s, because the idea of it being an imperfect copy, the way some of these figures look with the extra fingers and the walls are slightly off. It's almost feels like the way machines interpret things versus the idea of a kind of I don't know. I feel like there's two kind of different ways you could have gone with it, or maybe people even think about it. And one is almost like a dream logic type of thing. Like when you're in a dream, it's a space that you recognize and your brain recognizes it. But when you think about it in a rational state, you're like, well, that actually doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of more the aspect of it that I like. And one thing that kind of soured me a little bit on this, I was really digging the setup of this, the vibes. And the kind of I think it's this clash. It felt like a really weird, dissonant clash to me. Like I couldn't, because you have all this like retro vibes and this old style wallpaper and the lighting and the cameras and that kind of aesthetic. And one like big mistake that I think that he made was showing these creatures so up close and in detail, and the effects on them look very bad to me. I don't know if I actually, in my mind I did, but I'm not actually sure if I did or not. But when it first showed that one when they're gonna eat it, you know, when they're sitting down at the table and he's like, look, you can eat them, and it's the guy and he's got like 4 eyes or something. In my mind, whether I said it audibly or not, I was like, oh no. It looked terrible to me in such a shitty digital way that I was like, God, this is clashing.
It didn't look digital
terribly to me. What?
It looked practical.
I don't know. That's the thing is like, you know, it definitely didn't look digital to me. I will say that I did have a problem with that scene in particular as well for similar reasons, because like I do think that they showed and highlighted those aberrations, basically, is what you could call them, a little bit. They highlighted them a little bit too much, to the point where like I could identify which parts of the face were fake and things like that. And that's where it starts falling apart for me from a practical effects standpoint. When they were just showing them in that Christmas room or whatever, it was fucking horrific.
Yeah, that's like, fine. That's where it should have stayed.
Like,
it should have stayed in that
I agree.
shadows.
Or at least like been shot a little differently in that scene. I feel like that was done in order to placate the folks that are going to be like, well, how does Captain Clark survive in there? Like, and it was like, it was more of like a lore standard than it was an
he literally could have just said, yeah, I can eat them. Yeah, he could have said the same lines without having one sitting next to him.
Yeah, really. Like there's a number of ways you could handle that. I think that you could highlight one of them maybe a little bit, but only half as much as they did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? At best, like I
really took me
at a certain point I could tell where the real eyes were and where the fake eyes were, and I'm like, that makes the whole illusion fall apart. I can tell where the prosthesis begins. That's not where you don't want to see the seams, right?
And the big creature at the end. God, I thought that looked like dog shit.
I liked it. Honestly, like,
really?
I understand.
I'm on the fence.
I understand why somebody would not like it. It is a choice.
Oof.
It's a big, bold choice, and like I definitely know it's not going to work for everybody. It's a little goofy, but
it's a lot goofy.
In a still pretty creepy way to me, though. Like it works.
No,
I don't know.
Not to me. It wasn't creepy at all to me. I mean, the setup of it. That's why I said the first part of it, where they were keeping it really low-fi, where the guy goes down into the room and he's got the rope tied to him, and there's a shit ton of clothes. Like the setups of this, the building of the tension was nice, and that's always the fucking problem with things like this that are so built on mystery. We go back a million times. Severance now is very popular, and then that's kind of like starting to fade a little bit. We always go back to things like Lost, where it's like, okay, you can catch my attention, you can have this concept, you can have this really intriguing idea that's so steeped in mystery.
Answers are less interesting.
Exactly. And so when you sit at a table and a guy's pulling shit out and he's like, look, you can eat it, and the monster that has been it's just hidden behind dark corners and is pulling people through vents and shit like that, and it's a completely explained away, especially when the point of the movie at the very end is them sitting there and like, it's unknowable, except you just spent the past 20 minutes with the man explaining exactly what it is, and you want by the end of this movie to explain people in a very explainable way. It's like, that's sex. Don't do that.
I'm kind of on the fence though, like, because here's the thing: is like yes and no. Like I have similar complaints. I do. Like I do think that like if looked at too closely, the Captain Clark monster or whatever can fall apart. I think it's really easy for it to fall apart. For me, it being one version, one manifestation of how the Backrooms interprets and tries to collate information and does it poorly and does it violently. I think that makes sense. I think it like I thought that on a practical effects level it was pretty good. It was eerie, but maybe it was a little silly. They showed a little too much of it, but not so much that I was taken out of it, which is the case with the others. I think they did a little bit better job there. I will say that like in terms of like the like I don't think that like they spent some time explaining. I don't love the amount of explaining that is done. I don't, but I also like think that it is also the explanation they give is infinitely replicable in a way that makes it kind of work, because I don't think that captain is the villain of the Backrooms. That is one manifestation. Yeah. And I don't think that's what dragged the first kid away. I don't think that's what like pulls people into the walls and stuff. I think it's
just the Minotaur. I will also in the labyrinth. It's a shapeshifter
reshaping itself.
Yeah. That's how I take it.
And the other thing is like, oh god, I lost. Oh, I don't know. I had another point. I lost it.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
dog. But I took it the same way. It's basically a shapeshifter, and because Clark had started spending so much time in there, it sort of warped into his sort of evil id, and is walking around trying to kill people.
Anything that's in there or anybody's brain that is in there is being replicated into rooms, into objects, into people, apparently, and like in that order, in that sort of like extrication. And so like to me, like that being the big villain of a movie of the Backrooms works fine, like conceptually speaking. And I do think that this is the other thing is I also didn't really clock this in the beginning, but by the end of this movie I was like, oh man, they are just making this a franchise that can last forever. Basically, and I'm a little concerned about the possibility about that, but conceptually, I think that does work. Conceptually,
yeah, I think
I don't know.
I think if we had seen the Captain Clark thing shift in some way, glitch out, the way that she was like so easily able to kill it through the peg leg situation, that kind of took the kind of piss out of it a little bit too, because like these people go in and like they're saying, yeah, we're going to explore. They've got gas set up, but the whole opening scene is these people getting separated and they don't have any weapons. She beats it with a rock.
Yeah,
but the thing is, this room is full of bloodied clothes, and this woman beats this thing with a rock, and people have been in there constantly, apparently getting killed. Scientists, people exploring, people who have gas traps set up.
Yeah, I mean, it did get gas.
It with a rock,
slows it down, and she doesn't kill it. Like it's still coming after her after she bashes its face.
Sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
I didn't
mean to catch up.
I don't know. It didn't really. I mean, I guess it makes sense that it slows down because of the gas, and then she's able to escape. She doesn't kill it or anything.
To me,
like I would say, like I mean, I can understand that, and I honestly think that like probably the weakest thing about this movie to me is the is there's parts of it that I like, but the scientist involvement in the end is like. That solidifies too much.
Not really necessary to the story. Yeah, it's
especially to say that to take the mystery out of the scientist is such a huge fucking mistake for him to sit there and say, we used to build MRI machines and now we explore the Backrooms and we don't know anything about it. It's so useless. We used to build MRI machines. It's like if he's a man behind a machine, I know.
It's just that they can't know it, and I think they're re-emphasizing that. But I also tend to agree that I don't like I don't like how much exposure that got because it is ultimately pointless to what the story is. That is lore, not story.
It is also, I mean, they mention it several times about like cycles, like people falling into these cycles. They do the same shit over and over again. And like, I think it is.
I thought that was about this story, though.
I mean, I think it's about our character, obviously Clark. I think it's also to some degree about Mary, and then it's also about these scientists. They keep sending people in, obviously, who just keep getting killed, and they keep trying to find out more and more about this place. That the whole point of it is you can't know about it, but they just keep doing it anyway. So I think that tag at the end just sort of solidifies the commentary on these like harmful cycles that human beings fall into and just like insist upon self-destruction. And like Clark very much is that too, when he says he does not want to change, refuses to change, and when Mary gives him the grace to just be a piece of shit, he's stoked about it.
Man would rather be an inhuman Backrooms monster than take therapy.
So I don't love the idea of all these scientists just setting cameras,
yeah, brother.
But it does like make sense in the story with like the cyclical nature that they keep commenting on.
I think that like ultimately like there's just too much explanation going on. Like here's the thing: is like the thing that the scientific the async laboratories thing. Okay, one more step back. That is something that is established in Kane Pixel's specific lore on his YouTube channel, to the point where I'm not convinced that is not directly tied into existing material.
What is say it one more time? Back it up.
The async laboratories, all that stuff.
Okay.
That is something that exists within his series of Backrooms YouTube shorts.
Thing, yeah.
And so like to me, I don't know how much of I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like it all could coalesce in a way that's like an interweaving, like a Marvel level interweaving of things, which I'm not, I don't give a shit about. And I kind of wish didn't happen. But regardless, it is an existing thing. And what I do think it brings to the table is things like the caveman standee with the spooky like language thing, or what, like that's a spooky moment that is justified. And the thing is like, so much of the spooky unknowable becomes justified, and if you do that too much, it's no longer unknowable. So I think having that plus also explaining that these horrific like half creatures are also manifestations of your memory and your faults and whatever else, I think having both of those things in the same movie is the mistake. I think you have one or the other, and for me, the one that's like at least a little bit more unique because I haven't seen it before is the Captain Cook or Captain Clark rather, and like the individual like creatures, the people that are recreated by the Backrooms. Async, I've seen that before. People like finding like the dead body of a scientist. Oh my god, I've seen that before. Like Kane has done this before, and I appreciate that he's bringing some of that thinking into this new thing, but to have it in there and to explain all of it seems like too much for a concept that thrives on unknowability. So
in a way too, I also like I think there's a good story set up here, especially with the therapy and the thing, and I think it's just explained in a better way. If you had someone who isolated themselves, you could still have the same almost situation where Clark just isolates himself and thrives in a kind of way in this Backrooms because he doesn't have to be around people anymore, but that deteriorates him when he has to interact with someone again even further of the kind of like this isolation or whatever. I think that's a good metaphor for getting lost, especially with Bob. I did like Bob's connection of it's like a physical version of the internet where you can be completely isolated and lose yourself to the point where when it's time to interact with another human again in a real face-to-face situation, he could have deteriorated even further, and he doesn't want to leave it. Yeah, so
yeah.
I like that a lot better than and still having this thing lurking in there, but maybe treat it as a way of like that's where he gets his purpose now, is like surviving or staying away from this thing. I think that is a lot more compelling to me
I get that.
what we got ultimately, which felt, because I mean, and it's also to a point of like filmmaking, not even just this concept and what is rewarding about this concept, but just in filmmaking, in my opinion, especially horror filmmaking. I feel like it's like horror 101 of like, you don't overexpose your monster unless you know for sure like you got it 100% lot, and it's just there in your face. It's so well lit, and it's just
well lit, but it's also still.
I was like, this is a rookie mistake. I was like, this feels like a huge rookie mistake.
Yeah,
to me, like that was not the like. I didn't see that as the big bad of the situation. So to me, it was like another spooky character that they were slightly overexposing, but less so than the ones before that.
Yeah, just
so
a reflection
more
of
on board.
A reflection of Clark's fucked up brain, and I do think what Kane Parsons is really trying to get at is that the Backrooms is our brain, basically. I mean, the therapist, when she's like really giving it to Clark at the table, she says something like, you know, you blame everything on your brain, but you are your brain, you fucking idiot. Like, so like everything that is happening is because of you, and you refuse to carve out a new path for yourself. So like,
I love that, by the way.
The Backrooms reflects, the fucked up shit in his brain, basically, and the brain is largely unknowable as well. Like, we study it as much as we can, but what do you really know about
I do
it?
think
so,
that like this. I'm sorry.
I think that's his point at the end of the day. But yeah, go on.
Well, I would build on that. Like, I do think that there's a point to be made in this movie about like, God help me, I'm going into the toxic masculinity space.
Oh,
like,
boy.
Not the incel
I do
space,
think
though.
so.
That's good.
Well, by way of that a little bit, but I don't know. Like, I think the character of Captain Clark is this guy that is like just. Like he did not succeed as much as he thought he would, and he resents propping up his one time spouse as she tries to achieve her dreams, and that's what made his marriage fall apart, and he holds all of that against her and can't cope with it to the point where he's going to withdraw into a fantasy world of his own creation and placate this monstrous version of him. Like all of that, like he's like, I think I'm happy. Like literally, like he would rather do that than therapy. That is not like just a pithy response. I think that is an intentional choice
to live. I mean, ultimately, he tries to go through the normal life, and he even says, you know, I'm wired that way. So I mean, he has. In a way, from what we're told, he has tried to have a job. He's tried to succeed. He invests in this company. He tries to do what his peers do. We see the commercial on TV. He tries to mimic that. It's almost like he's trying to pretend to fit in society because he doesn't know what else to do. And that time after time after time just falls apart. And so what he does is he just isolates himself.
Finds it easier.
He finds it easier to just not do life. But
the thing is, like, he's not just isolating. He also like murders people. Like he murders at least one person, which is his assistant.
But see, we don't know that though. You guys keep saying he murdered her. I mean,
I don't know what else could have happened.
I assume the monster.
The monster killed Bobby or what the other guy, so he could have
killed the other guy.
Could have killed.
And I tried to help her, but she wouldn't do it. I don't know. Like he's at least blaming her for her own death at minimum. So, which if is not at all her fault. He brought her there. He did that, and he can't accept responsibility for that. That is part of his character.
True.
He cannot accept.
He always blames other people. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So like I don't really fully accept that he is
even if
intractable from
if
that.
the monster did kill Kat and he blames it on the monster, like that's the point, because the whole thing is a reflection of his brain, and his brain monster would have killed it. So it's still him at the end of the day.
It's still a metastasized version of him killing her, even if it's not him killing her, and it kills him. He ultimately gets killed by his own freak version because he embraces it rather than trying to escape it or trying to do something different to get out of that situation. I think that's it's not the most engaging. Like I don't know. I don't like the conceit and the vibes of this movie are what it succeeds on. I don't think that it necessarily succeeds on that. But since that is made such a central pivotal point of it, and since it is, I think, not the worst decision in the world to include. I think that it is like to point that out and to say like, hey, this is why this is happening, whatever. I think that all makes sense. So to me, that's what makes the science side of things, the async side of things, very neglectable. Like it is just a justification for a couple of scares, a couple of not even scares, just like sort of like somewhat spooky moments. And I think you could have done without that. I don't think you need Mark Duplass in this movie at all.
I don't think so either. And also too, I want to praise, like, I feel like I'm harping on like where I feel like just kind of like dropped the ball a bit, but I really do like the use of the space. And one thing I was thinking about too is when I was like done with this, I was like, why do I feel so a little bit unsatisfied with that? Because when they're exploring the space at first, I loved it because we didn't cover it. So Bob was saying, stuff that we've covered. But we talked about it a little bit. I think we all watched Exit 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we talked about in our Overlook.
It's a better version of this.
Better version. It's a different. Well, so the difference in that. So what I was going to say is the difference in that is it's the same place over and over and over again. And one thing I really loved about this and has so much potential, but also kind of fights the medium a little bit, at least in how this story is told, and where it really kind of clicked with my brain. I was like, this makes sense why this kept going on YouTube for so long, or could keep going on YouTube, is because part of the fun for me was the exploration and how weird things got, and how and just how it spiked my imagination of like, then there's this hole, and then it gets so easy to understand, where at first it seems simple. You go here, you turn left, you turn right, there's identifiable marks, he runs back, and then you're like, oh, but what happens when, and then he goes into a hole spaces. And it's hard, and then it's hard to get fucking back out. You're like, what's fucking down there? Like, I thought it was so good when he went into the hole and the laundry was down there. And then as he had to run away, and the mood, like the style changed a little bit, where there was one and it was kind of like a bathhouse. And I love that swap. And as you get deeper and deeper, and you're like, at this point, you're lost forever. And I almost wish we got a point of view to play off that a little more of the woman too. Of that kind of, I almost feel like they didn't hammer that home enough, of that feeling of, oh my God, I'm lost. Like,
eternally lost.
There's no hope of finding my way back to where I was, and seeing that play out in that way, because you're almost like, how could you get lost? You go left, you go right. But like, I almost wish they lived in that dread a little bit more. And that's where I feel like this movie is also lacking a little bit, where I'm like, they were setting it up and I was falling into it. And then I was like, oh my God, I would almost be so interested in waiting for the next YouTube video to come out to just explore more. Because part of the dread is just this imagination of how freaky it can get.
Well, that is really like on YouTube. Like, if you search Backrooms, you're going to find thousands, hundreds of thousands of completely different looking, as long as they're rooms that you're exploring and mostly point of view shots, you'll find them for sure. Well, the idea too that you can just fall into it, that it's this right, and that's kind of why I didn't like the over explanation of the thinking thing too. Like, oh, it's our memories. Is because part of why I liked it at the beginning, especially like when there's a seagull in there, which I thought was used to good effect. You get a couple jump scares. It's dead. It's bloody. It's creepy. It's weird. But I'm thinking to myself, there's some beach somewhere. Now they showed away. They're flying in the parking lot and stuff like that. But I was like, there's some beach somewhere, and there's just this hole in space time that you can't see, where a bird flew through there, and it's just and it could caught be in there. Yeah, and it could be anywhere. It could be anything. It could be. They pissed that away, man. I hate that. I don't disagree with you. Like that is genuinely like the power of the Backrooms as a YouTube lore, as an individually dispensed episodic thing that works perfectly. As a film, I understand why there was an impulse to like have a central character or two. Like I can't fault them for that. Yeah. And like I kind of understand. And I also don't necessarily hate the explanation that it is a reflection of our collective memories, especially the folks that enter the realm in some way. I don't hate that. I just wish that it wasn't so explicit. Like that's the thing that makes it a little bit less so for me. I'm down to travel all kinds of different people's bastardized versions of different people's memories and different people's baggage or whatever that it takes the form of like a pool house or whatever, or like a fucking whatever it turns out to be. And we'd spend a good few moments doing that. I will also say that I was a little worried after that first scene that we would never go back to found footage, which to me is like the most engaged. I'm a found footage hound. Like that's the thing that draws me to the Backrooms. That's the thing that drew me to Kane Pixel's shit in the first place. I am so grateful that this movie spent a good hunk of its runtime doing true VHS CRT screen found footage, because if it didn't, I would feel chipped.
More,
I would feel
honestly,
yeah.
It is really effective.
I feel shortchanged if they didn't.
Do you guys have any other major things you want to touch on before you land this plane here?
I do. I want to get one more praise, especially like what Randy just said. You do need a central character. You can't just have this thing where it's exploring and things like. I think actually, another reason why I feel kind of so frustrated about it is I think the setup of that, turning this into a movie, was good. The performances are good. And one thing I really like that I want to praise to keep it out of just my main review is the beginning and the end role play.
Yeah.
Where he does it in therapy and then he does it because that is a true reflection of his character, where he does it even though he still gets like he lets loose, but he's in society and he's in a realm where he like feels compelled to apologize at the end, even though he's not really sorry. And then when he does it in the therapist's office, he realized that he flies off the handle and he kind of apologizes, or I didn't mean to get angry or whatever. But when he's in control, he doesn't have to hide behind that mask anymore. Like those elements of taking the central character who can't fit in with society, who everything keeps falling apart for him, and he isolates himself in the Backrooms. That is a smart and, for the most part, well executed creation to make this idea work in film format. I think that was adapted well for the most part, and I like that, and it's highlighted specifically for me in that arc scene where you have something at the beginning. Yeah, it bookends it well without all the need for explanation. It's like we're following this man's journey and how the Backrooms have affected him and how he's adapted the Backrooms, and that's what the story is about. And that was good. That was a smart choices, I think.
I thought Chiwetel Ejiofor did a fucking great job in this. Dude, an amazing actor. Yeah,
the actors all did really well with the material that they have, for sure.
All right, let's land this plane here. Rand Diesel, why don't you kick us off? Out of 5, how do you feel about Backrooms?
I don't know, man. I have a lot of love for this. Like just on a number, like on a cultural level, the fact that these like weirdo projects are becoming mainstream, it does warm my heart a little bit. I'm very pleased for Kane, and I wish him the greatest successes in the future. But yeah, like there's definitely some faults with this that I think as a major motion picture don't really measure up necessarily to what I would want out of a major motion picture, as opposed to out of an oddball series on YouTube. And I think they did try to do the due diligence of making that adaptation happen. I don't think that it all necessarily landed. And like as I'm sitting here thinking about it and listening to Justin in those last few seconds, I was thinking to myself like, man, like, is it even doable? Like this whole thing, this whole Backrooms conceit, the eeriest it has ever been is when it was just a picture on fucking 4chan and somebody describing an endless series of hallways just like this that you're trapped in forever. That's the scariest thing that this can be in my mind. Even when Kane like put together the Backrooms, the found footage stuff that got him this job as the Backrooms director, like there was a monster in it that I thought looked hokey as fuck, like way hokier than actual Captain Clark. It looked stupid, and it was the weakest part of the whole franchise. And that's saying something because Async was deeply involved, like the scientific aspect was deeply involved, but it was largely used as a method of getting people down there and allowing you the false sense of security of people. Oh, people are down here; they know what they're doing here, and that worked for that. But as it translates into this major motion picture, it just doesn't. And you're not focused on them. They're more of a background like apparatus that at best provides some scares. I don't think it needs that. I do think that they did as much as they could to make the pathos of the main characters matter, as opposed to it being completely random. But I'm not sure that the randomness wasn't the scariest part. So I guess I'm like a little bit fence sitting on this, and I'm very much like engaged with this conceptually. I do think that Kane did a great job with what this conceit is and trying to make it into a motion picture. And I'm never going to like speak too poorly about it. I certainly had a great time watching it, but I don't know that it is like it's like I'm reminded of when I watched The Zone of Interest, that film about basically like families of high-end Nazi officials living next door to whatever it was, Dachau or something, and just hearing the screams of people dying every day, but also like gardening and doing all kinds of like completely normal things and having completely standard melodramas in their life is very like bleak and sad. But like I got that impression from the trailer, and I don't know that the movie built on that so much as it just made me sit in it for another 2 hours. So like there's an element of that here where like the less I know, the less I experience, the scarier it is. It's a little bit of like Michael Myers in that way. The more you explain it, the less scary it becomes. And I'm worried that they are going to make 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 more of these that are just going to make it less and less scary to the point where even watching this one is going to be horrible.
Are you ready for Backrooms 2, The Cult of Async to drop?
I'm not ready at all. Anyway, I did all that preamble. I'm just going to go and say, like, I did really enjoy myself with this movie. I think. Oh, I wanted to bring up that like they dropped a fucking amazing needle drop for the most specific dork imaginable, which is me. They had a song in here by The Caretaker from the album, whose name I'm blanking out on, but it is an album. It's a concept album that is specifically meant to emulate what it's like to go through the stages of dementia. And there's a moment specifically when the doctor is visiting her mother in the whatever, the asylum, whatever you want to call it, where they drop this thing, and I was like, holy shit, that's The Caretaker. That's a very specific thing. This movie has a lot to do with memory and the faultiness of memory and all that sort of thing. And I really love that sort of thing. I really love that integration. Anyway, I've talked enough. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Bob, how about you?
4 out of 5 from Randu. Yeah, so I have not seen any of the Backrooms shorts on YouTube. So this is I've seen the picture where it all started, and I had like a general sense of what the Backrooms is going into this, but I'd never seen any of Kane's previous work. So I was fairly fresh to this, and I think it is thematically very rich and interesting. And when it ended, it's one of those movies that sat with me for a couple days after I saw it, and I just kept thinking about it, like what it meant. I found it really intriguing. I did not find it extremely scary, But, it's we're horror dorks. We watch a million horror movies, and for us to be scared is very, very rare. I almost don't even expect to be scared by hardly anything anymore. But I think these sort of, what Kane is playing around with here, the sort of like implications of the internet and modern technology and what that is doing to human beings and our brains and sort of rewiring us, and how that is reflected via the Backrooms, being a twisted representation of our brains. I think all that is really very interesting to consider. And also thinking about someone who's so young, wanting to play around with these ideas just makes perfect sense. And him choosing to use these analog aesthetics makes even more sense, I think. Pondering a time when you could live without the internet and what that might be, but I don't know, it's just a very, very interesting piece of work, I think. And it's very of its time. It's very, very now. And this does feel, he's obviously very, very young, just getting his career off the ground, breaking all these records. I'm sure they're going to ask him to make a Backrooms 2. Whether or not he chooses to do that, it remains to be seen. But this does feel like a new, interesting voice, and I want to see him do, like you were saying, Randy, maybe something that is not the Backrooms, even though I did enjoy this quite a bit, and I found it to be pretty interesting, and it's something I'll want to revisit and think about even more in the future. I like the setup quite a bit. The performances are fantastic. I think the cinematography is great. The set design is fucking incredible. They built 30,000 square feet of actual back rooms, and I watched a couple little brief interviews with the actors, and they were saying when they're on set, people would actually get lost in them briefly, walking around.
I would shit in my pants.
Yeah. So, it's super cool that A24 went out on a limb here and gave a very, very young director his first time break. They gave him $10 million to make this movie. That's not nothing,
But they made their money back, man.
They fucking did. I respect the hell out of it. I think it's a really interesting piece of work. And I totally get, they probably showed the monster too much. It is hokey in a way that, makes it less scary. But I think it being, this fucked up giant puppet creature just kind of worked on a certain level for me personally, even though it wasn't super scary.
That was a real guy, by the way.
A guy on stilts, I assume.
Was he on stilts? I know. I don't know. From what I understand, he was a 7 foot something.
Oh,
guy.
no shit. Okay, no, I did not know that. That's
I don't the face. Obviously, they had prosthetics on the guy.
Right, right. Yeah,
but he was like a guy.
No, I did not know that. That makes it kind of creepier. I just assumed it was a dude on stilts or something. I really enjoyed this quite a bit overall, though, and I think I'm sitting right where Randy is on this with a 4 out of 5. Randu. Juice, how do you feel?
Ooh, I like this a lot less than you guys. I really liked the rooms, that they built it and that they explored it in that way was my favorite part. And I thought they were doing a really good job. I also liked when they switched to the to the found footage stuff. And honestly, Randy said that he felt like he got enough out of it. I kind of wanted more. I wanted more of these, especially if you're gonna incorporate these scientists. I almost want more of the surveillance a little bit. I guess, or something. I don't know. I want some more found footage perspective a little bit, however you get there. I think the biggest frustration for me is I think that the format for this to incorporate well into the movie realm is there. It feels like it comes back to that element of they don't trust the audience, and also maybe you do have to feel like you're setting up for some sequel or something. I also don't like the scientist aspect. I don't understand the need to explain the scientist in the final moments of your film. Feels very short-sighted and just so unnecessary. Mark Duplass does not need to exist in this movie. He definitely doesn't need to say that he's a nobody that knows nothing. That feels so pointless and stupid from a storytelling standpoint about a film that's built on mystery, that's built on unknowing. Why would you do that?
It fits thematically, but I do understand your point, like, that it kind of ruins.
What would be better if he knew and could tell her things?
It would be better if we didn't know anything about him. It would be better if he just acted as a person interrogating them, just refused to give her information. Why would he give her any information? She's not in a position of power.
I think they're trying to position him as a character for follow-up sequels. I think,
but that doesn't make it even any better.
No, I don't think it makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes it worse. I was so disappointed in the kind of creature reveal and the over explanation of things. It just, once that moment kind of hit, it just like felt like it kept dropping lower and lower in my score. I felt myself going like, I'll enjoy this less and less and less. And now we're sitting with Mark Duplass and he's over explaining as well. I just,
minus a half star for Mark Duplass. Let's be clear.
No, and then
that's a you thing.
That is a me thing.
That's a you thing. Yeah. And then that final scene of the memory of that woman sitting there, I was like, woof. I thought it looked bad. I hated the design. As well as the design of the rooms and everything were, as equally good as those were, I felt the design on the creatures and how they were showed was like equally as bad. Like it flew me in the opposite direction. I hated them.
That part of it, I was down for. I mean,
it was like the woman. Y'all liked the woman sitting.
I don't think that I think that they showed too much. I think they were too, like, it was too well lit. Those sort of things. Like it was more of like a way it was shot. If she was problem.
Like, if she, the face too. It's just so. If she was standing in a corner with her face facing the corner and she had like an extra limb or something, subtle, slight, that's what realm it needs to live in. Not this, I'm literally going to show you the face in the full design and one eye is cocked over here and there's an extra head. It was too silly for me. It's too silly. Too silly. And I felt frustrated by that because I do think that I do think that he did a pretty good job with most elements. I almost just feel like a lot of this was maybe kind of rookie mistakes or like, I don't know what. You okay?
I'm like, I want you to finish, but I do want to chime in one more like thought when you're done with your score.
Okay.
So go on.
All right. Overall, I don't know that I really want to revisit this film much. I don't know. I would be curious in a sequel just because the main thing I like about this is the spaces, and it is cool that they built them. And I don't know. So I think I'm kind of in this one at a 3.
Okay. I always like, this is the kind of thing that's always going to have variance. So I'm actually glad we aren't all like lock sync on this one, to be honest, because it's more representative of the real population.
3 from you, boy. Soju is going to put our aggregate at a 3.7. Randy, what was your follow-up point there?
I just wanted to ask you guys and like talk a little bit about something that we didn't neglected to talk about, which is like the doctor and her mom and like all of that narrative backstory that we just didn't even touch on. Yeah. Because like she's ultimately like the hero of this movie, even more so than Captain Clark, and like he becomes the villain, she becomes the hero, and like she's got like her rock and like her history with her mom and all this stuff. We didn't really even cover that, and I feel like I don't know. Like I don't know that it added anything.
Yeah,
I feel like it didn't. I didn't have the emotional resonance that you would hope for that sort of thing.
I don't know exactly what it's trying to do, but whenever she has those flashbacks, and it is a memory, and as we've established in this movie quite thoroughly, memories are hazy and maybe not exactly true, but whenever she has her flashbacks, the interior of her childhood home looks very much like a room in the Backrooms, and it's like got all this cluttered shit in the corner, and like she can't get out. And
she's not allowed to leave.
And she's not allowed to leave, and that is a physical representation of her mom's psychosis, or I think she was schizophrenic or whatever, of what's going on in her brain. And that's like a physical representation of that, which is what the Backrooms is. So it's sort of like an inverse of what we see throughout most of the movie, but it's just the exact same
it is,
thing.
I don't know.
Probably, yeah. So it's not my favorite part of the movie. I don't know that it really adds a whole heck of a lot, but
Me too.
I think it's trying
especially
to do more
if
than
they
it actually
really
accomplishes.
I feel like that is the vehicle of instead of just explicitly explaining the memory aspect. I feel like that was a better opportunity to use that as a way to explore that theme, because especially The Rock is a memory. It's a physical memory that she has taken. I just feel like they don't really connect those dots well enough, or make it. Instead, they almost like panic and then they're like, let me tell you what it's about, instead of developing it well enough.
Yeah. That's a fair
But I do like the connection of if they had, the mom's mind is so cluttered and the house is cluttered.
Her walls. That's what inspired her to make her tapes about not building walls or breaking through. I understand, and there's something to like about that. There is. I just like the way it's accomplished. It's hard to parse, and it's not additive.
Another reason why my 3 is more.
I also do want to remind us that this dude was like 19 when he made, like, he was so fucking young. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. And I don't like. No. I mean, and that is impressive. But that's the thing too of like, you could go to a school play and you could say this was great for a high school play. You know, like it's what we're doing right now is we're taking a film that, as you said, was made by a 19-year-old. It's got studio backing and actors and stuff behind it. But at the same time, I mean, I do think some of these things, like with the monsters, in my mind, I was like, oh no, I literally thought like this is like the biggest rookie mistake. Honestly, is what the first thing that popped into my mind. You know,
no. But it is a dimension through which to look at this, and I do agree. I think we all agree that like
praise to
any level of this is an accomplishment for somebody. Like, I wish I accomplished this much with my
absolutely
career, so.
What the fact that it's this good is so impressive. But at the same time, we're comparing it to films by everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be on an objective level. It has its faults. On a individual level, this kid has everything. This has
all my respect.
Everything to be proud of.
Yeah,
So
and I'm excited to watch him grow. You know, I mean, we've seen.
Yeah, that's why I want to see him do something that doesn't have the baggage. Like, I want to see him. Yeah. He's retrofitting like a narrative story into a concept that does not need that, and that it got success off of vibes, and then was built because like internet freaks like myself liked the lore and wanted to get into the lore or whatever. But that's not what film goers are necessarily going for. He's trying to retrofit into all the way back.
Backroom nut. That's what I heard.
A little bit of backshot nut.
God
Riley is horny today.
Dude,
we know.
It's been a long weekend of EDM festing. I'll tell you that.
Boys, we got to move on, man. I know this is fun to talk about.
Sorry. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we got to land this plane. So like I said, 3.7 is our aggregate. Let's jump over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment and see what the critics and users have to say.
Certified fresh to death.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gentlemen guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is on RottenTomatoes.com for the Backrooms. Starting with the tomatometer, or the critic score, and then moving on to the poopometer, or the user score, we're going to have these folks guess the percentage of positive scores. All right. Let's start with Soju and our tomatometer. 185 reviews is what you have to play with. 185 reviews. What percentage of those reviews would you say are positive reviews?
Well, I think people are going to be praising this guy, praising this kid for what he's accomplished, and they should. But so one more final point, I mean, as it's related to this thing.
Sneaky point.
A sneaky point. But when I'm thinking about this, again, as we brought up at the beginning of this, we just came off of Hokum and Obsession, which I personally think are both better films than this. So I'm kind of,
it's fair. Yeah.
If those didn't come out and then this movie dropped, I might be
if
like,
we were in a drought, I would be like 5-star.
This month,
I might be more impressed. But literally back-to-back weeks, we covered Hokum and then Obsession. So it's kind of like
it's one of the best months since we've started the show. I would have.
There's
for
an
new
amazing
releases.
shot
Yeah.
that was passed around. I just saw on like Instagram or something of Curry Barker and Kane Pixels like shaking hands at some festival or something. I'm like, man, what a point in time for horror films.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Drew Brees playing with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Oh, it's just like sporting and doing sports things. We all know what you're talking about, of course, and we don't need to go into it any further.
I'm just saying, but I'm gonna cap it a little bit. I'm gonna take The Boys. I'm gonna take 86.
Ooh, The Boys. Hell yeah, I gotta find that bump. Here we go. All right, Bob, you're up against The Boys. What are you gonna do? The Boys are here to play, so what are you gonna do?
I love The Boys, but I can't take them now. I don't know, man. This is a weird movie. I don't know if this is one that the critics are gonna love. So maybe I'll take the under. 86 is pretty high, so I'll take a little lower, and I guess just give me a straight up 80, please.
Flat 80, a flat 80 and an 86. All right. Well, I'll tell you, one of you guys, just one of you, is 3 percentage points off.
Ooh,
this one's an 89% fresh soju's walking the walk and talking the talk this episode.
That's elite.
The critics and you are in lockstep or close to it.
I am a critic.
That's what they tell me. All right.
Let's
jump over to the poopometer and find out what the user ranking is. There are
Soju the Bang, he's a critic. That's what they
Thanks, they.
I was told that by a number of people. Unprompted. Nobody asked. I worry that they are not real and they might be bots on the internet. But anyway, that's a side note.
I didn't pay for them, if that's what you're implying.
They did have Russian accents, but I'm not going to look into that any further.
Bots had Russian accents.
The bots had Russian accents. Soju's best reviewer in the world, best critic. Yes.
Thanks,
2,500. Yeah. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway,
they call me vodka the Bang
myself.
over in Russia. So
this is why you don't drink all day long and then record a podcast, is what I would say.
Vodka the Mang.
Vodka.
My boy Vodka.
They call me Vodka Stains.
The best film critic I know.
My boy Vodka's dropping a new review on Wednesday. Vodka Wednesday is the best day of the week, y'all.
Vodka Wednesdays, boys.
I desperately want to be known as Vodka. I kind of want that to be part of my name. 2,500 plus ratings for the poopometer, for the users rather. 2,500 plus users have verified ratings on this. We're going to go in reverse order. Bob, what percentage would you say of those are positive?
I'll take...
take a shot of vodka before you answer.
A vodka. I don't have any... I got some Coke Zero that's delicious.
Well, take a shot of Coke Zero.
I'll take what we got. What we gave it. 75, roughly what we gave it. I'll roll with that.
Okay. 75 from Bob. Soju, where are you at with it?
I think I'm on double down with The Boys. I think they never let me down. I think the youngins are coming out for this one. I think they're coming to rally. The youngins love The Boys.
I got a Backrooms popcorn bucket that is giant and unknowable and full of popcorn that's never ending.
It's
only cost me $30.
Endless rooms of popcorn.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good deal.
$30.
Not bad.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. One of you guys got real close. 1 percentage point from the correct answer. Just one. That correct percentage is, of course, as we all know, 74%. It's a split pot tonight.
Ooh.
Bob's walking the walk as well.
That's a skeet and yeet.
Vodka
Or no,
Bobs.
yeet and skeet.
Vodka Bob. The Vodka Bros are at it again.
Them vodka boys.
Vodka boys.
Fucking crazy. Pour me up a double shot of vodka, dog.
What has happened to us? Anyway, yeah. So let's read some negative reviews.
We're the
and
same
see
names
where
we've always
other
been.
people have gone wrong with their opinions. Here's a
never
negative review.
change. We never grow.
No.
That's
No new roads.
I just like this road. Let's just keep going.
It's a hard road.
It's a hard road. Here's a negative review. Atmospheric and well designed. There's something missing in the script that gives this uncanny valley-like quality. At times, feels as soulless as the entities it's depicting.
Hey-o.
I don't know that that's necessarily far off the mark.
Yeah,
I do
not
think
so
the
far. I don't think it's
characters-
soulless.
It's not
but
soulless.
It's not laughable
it's not
by any
soulless.
means.
It's
It's
just
not a
missing
laughably
little something,
wrong
maybe.
opinion.
It is missing a little.
I think they're
something there.
trying, but I don't think they're fully succeeding with their characterizations in this movie. I think that's the ultimate, and I think it succeeds more on the conceit than it does on the characters. Ultimately,
He was distracted with his math homework, you know.
Oh my God.
he had
He had finals
Too much-
week and he had to...
too many.
Oh, I
too
gotta
much
finish this
fasted-
script, but shit, I got a math test tomorrow.
Fuck.
He'll just explain it all at the end.
I'll just
That
have
works.
this shot of vodka. That'll get me ready to
That'll
go.
get my head nice and clear.
That man is not old enough to drink.
He is
On-
now. He is now.
He is now. Thank
20?
God.
I thought he was 20.
If he was having, oh
I
my
think he's
God, can you imagine
21.
having this like your red letter day as a creator,
Maybe.
like where you've made like a big Hollywood production that has made a lot of money and not be able to order a cocktail?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Randy,
No.
he's in Hollywood, so it's just piles
No, he's
of
20.
cocaine.
He was
Oh.
born.
Oh, he's
Oh,
20
he
now.
will be 21 on June 18th. Hey, he's
Oh,
another
no.
June boy.
Gemini!
Okay.
Gemini season! Fuck
18th.
yeah, brother.
So in like 2 weeks, he'll be able to
I'll
toast.
buy him a double shot
Kane,
of vodka.
we'll buy you some vodka until you can't see straight.
Kane,
buddy.
what's your address? I'll mail you some vodka.
Just send it to me. And
It's just gonna be a bottle that says that piece of masking tape that says vodka in broken English on it.
It's just some mystery
Drink this,
liquid
Kane.
inside. It's white lightning, that corn liquor.
Oh my God! No, don't start with corn liquor. Kane.
Wow,
I'm gonna
this
give
is
you that piece of
weird.
advice.
I think this is the first time I've seen this. This is very interesting. So I just pulled up his Wikipedia page to see how old he was. And as part of his, it's born, occupations, but then it's like subscribers, views.
Oh, weird.
Like it is weird as part of his like
YouTube
information.
stats and shit.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That is weird.
I normally just have a different set of parameters myself.
I'm gonna look for a guy with a round, muscular butt.
All right, here's
well,
one more
it
negative.
says right here, round, muscular.
Muscular.
butt.
Oh,
So,
Kane,
on
good
the
for you,
Wikipedia.
my guy.
Nice.
Keep it round. Keep it muscular. Keep it vodka. All right, one more negative review and we're going to move on. While Kane Parsons shows incredible talent as a visual director, the final act of Backrooms destroys any subtlety in the movie.
Yeah.
A little harsh,
Yeah, but it
I think
does,
it's-
Yeah.
It's not, it is a fair critique, I think, ultimately.
We're all fair here.
Especially when we have our vodka. All right,
Our
what's,
vodka
Bob,
stains.
what's our trivia looking like?
There's
You got
a-
anything?
There's a decent amount, actually. Let's get into it.
Fuck. Oh, all right, great.
It's totally time for trivia.
Fuck! I mean, great. All right.
Can I tell you, like, I had some friends over yesterday to have burgers
Doubt
and
it.
dogs, and I started the grill,
Liar.
and that shit ran out of gas immediately.
Oh, that's
I had to run to the fucking store.
Had
with
to
a
microwave these damn burgers.
No. I ran to the store to get propane to the
Raw
to the
meat.
hardware store near me, and I walked in, and they're like close to close. I was like, "Please tell me, can I get some propane?" And they're like, "Oh no, we're out." And I went, "Fuck!" And I know that they were all like, "Oh shit, like,
We gotta
this
call
guy's
the
gonna
cops.
kill us all."
This
Like,
guy's fucked up.
if I stayed there a moment longer, they would have called the cops.
So where'd you get your stuff?
I ended up going to a separate Driving 15 minutes away. So,
Sick.
Life's hard. Life's hard when you need to grill.
Here's some trivia. The Backrooms as a concept originated in a 4chan thread in 2019.
Thanks, 4chan.
The thread featured a single image.
One of
Isn't that
things that are good from 4chan.
It's just another little feather that makes
one.
this whole fucking thing really interesting to me.
Oh man!
Single image of a yellow empty room, and it read, "If you're not careful, a no clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms where nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noises of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you." Pretty freaky.
Dude, I think that's there's a reason that's the ground zero, and that's the reason everybody needs to go back to that to explain what this is.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that mysterious, freaky vibe,
that idea
is
too
what makes it work.
It's the perfect concept of there's something coming, and because the rooms are empty, there's nowhere to hide, and you also don't know. It's the like Bob said, it's the maze. You're stuck in the maze.
It's a labyrinth.
You're trying to get out of the maze. There's something in the middle of the maze. It's an old tale that is wired into our brains for us to fear. It's just cool to have a modern.
Do you guys know the phrase "no clip"? Because I was not super familiar, but I
no
learned
cap.
about it.
No
Drop
cap.
it on us.
A little different.
Brand Diesel.
So, oh my God, somebody listening to us has just turned us off because they just heard me try to explain.
There's only three people
several
left,
hundred
brother.
people.
One of them's Nas.
Nas is going to keep listening because he's a good man.
And
He's in the
he's a Gen
librarian,
Zer too. He's a young
I know.
listener.
God bless him.
21 years old.
Yeah.
Just a couple years older or
Shouts
younger
outs.
than me.
Yeah, but
Shouts
no
out.
clipping is it's like a video game thing. I was just gonna give praise to Alamo for what I know that they are not the hottest shit right now, but the person who puts together their pre-roll is a god, and they put together this great what is it, a tour of the back rooms before this film. And part of it, they went through exactly that post. They showed it. They talked about it a little bit. And then they also walked you through the concept of no clipping, which is a video game term, which if you've played a 3D video game, which we all have in an N64 or whatever, and you've wandered and hit a wall and then just walked through that wall accidentally and just wound up in sort of a limbo space you're not supposed to be in, that's essentially what no clipping is. And so I love that as an explanation of what the Backrooms are. It makes it so perfect to me. And that's a little bit strange because of how it's presented in the film. It's more presented as gateways that are almost intentionally a doorway sized gateway.
I have more trivia about that, Randy. You remember that video game Portal that came out?
Fucking love Portal.
20
and 2
years ago or whatever. Was a massive influence on Mr. Kane Parsons here when he was making
sense.
The Backrooms.
It makes perfect sense. That game is fucking amazing. Both of them are.
Cool. Yeah, they are both good.
It is very, very good. So on January 7th, 2022, Kane Parsons began uploading an anthological video series titled Backrooms on his YouTube channel Kane Pixels, which is what you were referring to him as, Randy. The concept being based on the internet creepypasta of the same name.
Wait, what's his actual name?
The same name. Kane Parsons.
Kane
Pixels is his.
I literally cannot parse between those two things.
Parsons?
You can't parse between.
I can't Parsons between
and
Kane Pixels and Kane Parsons.
Yeah, his God-given name is not Pixels.
Oh, that's a mistake of gods, I would say.
A24
God
discovered
really messed up there.
He fucked that one up.
A24 discovered Kane Parsons online and loved the idea of his Backrooms creation. They pitched the movie to him a while back. It was put on hold because of the Hollywood strike, later revived, with Parsons set to write and direct the film. At 19, Kane Parsons became A24's youngest director, starting production right after high school, which is awesome. Good for him.
God damn.
The film is produced
imagine?
by James Wan, Sean Levy, and Osgood Perkins. Chernin Entertainment financed the film for $10 million. Osgood Perkins apparently was sort of his mentor, I guess, throughout the process. Might be the best word for it.
Yeah,
which is
there's
kinda
like
cool.
some like rumors that like Duplass went like hard
saw that.
against. You
People
saw this
saying
where it's like
he
a
didn't
shadow
actually
director
didn't actually
film,
direct it,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I just like I'm so great. Like I don't love
I don't know,
Duplass's
man.
role in
Osgood
this film.
Perkins has a very distinct style that I don't really
He does.
see here.
I will
does,
say,
yeah.
I will say, Captain Clark kind of
Yeah.
Captain Clark monster. I could see a little bit of Kane
Yeah.
Parson. I'm sorry, I could see a little
Maybe.
bit of Osgood in that, but it's very little. And I do think that like I'm very grateful that even though I don't love Duplass's role in this, that he is like stepping up to the plate. Good for him for standing up for a young director.
I
for
saw
real.
Kane Parsons, he replied to somebody on X, claiming that he didn't actually direct the movie. And he replied with something really quite funny. He was like, this is actually all true. It's little known that once you get to Hollywood, you have to sign over all of your rights to this one mysterious figure known as the Man, or whatever he said. I forget exactly.
Ooh, that's the next film.
And
The
all,
Man.
The Man.
all movies in the world have only been directed by this one single mysterious figure. He just started
I think
building this
shit.
lore, and it was really funny.
I think Jane Schoenbrunn is making that movie already, though. I think it's
yeah.
Teen Sex and whatever it is.
Can't
Can't
Me
Me Asthma. Yeah.
So the audio that you hear in the trailer for this movie, and also that the standees are talking, it's 55 greetings in 55 different languages from the
They
1977
spoke Korean.
Voyager Golden Record is what that was.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Okay.
Like, I love that he's like a caveman who's just like, it looks like a Geico caveman, but worse. Like it's just like a dude like holding the spear, giving like the cockeye. I love that. It's so silly looking.
They made an in-universe commercial, which we see some of in the movie, for Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire, and they broadcasted it on Pluto TV. There's a working phone number that you could call as well if you want to do that.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Call it, Randy.
That's amazing. I fucking love that kind of shit.
This
I'm
is
such a mark for
this
it.
is the last bit of trivia I have. So this shares. I've heard of this novel before. I guarantee you, the librarian has read this. This shares the same premise as the 2000 novel House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski.
I have House of Leaves.
Well, you haven't
have
read
you
it.
read it though?
I've read at least 3 chapters, and
Right
then
on.
I became illiterate again.
At its core, the book tells the story of a family who discovers that their new home is impossibly larger on the inside than on the outside. I think that probably has been optioned. Like, it's very popular. I don't see why it wouldn't have been.
It's incredibly popular. I don't know from what I have understood about it. Again, I'm not finished it by any means. That I feel like it's unfilmable.
Yeah,
Based like
maybe
or
so.
at least it is incredibly difficult to film to the point where it's not worth it for most studios to try.
Well, that is the trivia I've got. Let's go ahead and talk about our Cooter of the week.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice. What is a Cooter, and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Cooter's character type and a straight chillin'. Legally binding exclusive. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most points. 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, I think Mr. Clark is going to be our Cooter this week.
Captain
Mr.
Clark and the
Captain,
Shrimp Shack
Mr.
Shooters.
It's a limited
Captain
cast
Clark.
here. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
I think if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. Do you have, a point you wanna start
smug
with?
arrogance.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's. I think
really?
he has
I
moments.
feel like he's
of it.
beleaguered.
You can tell that he really is ashamed of himself, and that he did not become what he was set out to become.
Yeah,
I feel like
don't
when
know if
he's
I
at the end,
buy
when
it.
he is like, especially too, when he's like, I try to convince her, he's acting like
talking
he
about
his assistant, and like even the woman, like, I think he ties her up and just like, he knows the back rooms and he knows the best way. I don't know. It's kind of arrogant to me.
Yeah, I could see it. Well, let's go through the rest and see. Let's.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's.
I think
try
it's
and figure
very
this out.
pathetic, extremely pathetic. I would say.
Pathetic is maybe the chief among
Yeah.
his faults, I would say.
Yeah.
Manipulation, I would say yes.
This is a guy who could not deal with so much of his life and withdrew into an alternate fucking dimension where he did not have to deal with other people so that he could cope with life. That's pretty fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was the next thing? I'm sorry. You had already moved on. I wanted to make that point.
Yeah, manipulation was the next one I mentioned. I mean, I think
A little bit.
once he gets Kat in there, I don't know. We don't see it. It's off screen. Probably manipulate. I think him calling his therapist is a manipulative move to get her to come check
I
on
wondered
him.
about that.
Oh yeah.
I wondered about that because otherwise, why call her?
Why let her
And
know?
from where? Yeah.
And
did
he's
he
like, "You
leave
found me."
the
But, like,
back
also-
rooms and call from the store.
I'm so
Maybe?
fascinated by that. Yeah, if he
Oh, we didn't even
left
talk
just to
about that, yeah.
call her, then absolutely.
I won't be coming
Because-
back. Yeah.
When
Because
she's
there's like
there-
an argument to be made that when you're in the back rooms, it messes with your brain or something. I don't know. Like I had this thought that might be the case.
Could
Like
be.
the longer
Like,
you're in
the
there,
long-
the
yeah.
worse your brain
That's interesting.
functions.
Yeah.
But that whether that happened or not, like he had to make the call, and that call can't happen within the back rooms as far as we know.
Came from inside the back rooms.
Whoa.
But when she's there, he's definitely trying to manipulate her. So I think he does hit that at least
He's
some way.
he's trying to manipulate. Like Jesus Christ, like we didn't talk about him like throwing red hair on her by way of scalping
I
a
forgot
person.
about that. Yeah, that's fucked
Oh
up.
yeah.
Which is
Really
super
fucked up.
fucked.
I
Like
did
it's
forget
so
about
fucked
that.
up.
Yeah.
So is that supposed to be his wife?
Well, it's
don't
the
know.
role play between him and his wife.
I know,
His wife
but
had
so he
red
put
hair.
the hair. Okay. So
I don't think
maybe-
that the red-haired woman is
Okay,
is
yeah.
his wife.
Okay,
I think that he
okay.
cut the hair off a red-haired woman
Right.
Yeah.
figure
Okay.
in order to make that illusion because he is becoming psychotic, basically at that
Yeah.
point.
I
So
forgot about that.
he's
Yeah.
got 2 sexual deviants. I don't think so.
There's not a lot of sexuality involved here, I don't think.
No. But
And
he
then-
does demean. I don't. He demeans his. I guess it's not sexual. He demeans
Go
his
on.
wife by way of role play by saying like, "You sit on your
Oh.
fat ass
Yeah.
and you don't."
He does say that, yeah.
I don't know.
He says that multiple times.
Yeah.
I think
Very
that's
committed to that narrative.
more like
Yeah.
pathetic and manipulation. I think that
I
doubles
agree with
down
you.
on
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
points.
It's not,
Look,
I think it's like not a sexual thing. It
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
much
Look-
a thing of him being insecure, which is pathetic.
looking at Tyre, if you want to count his Captain Clark's outfit, it's pretty
He
rough.
does debase himself with that outfit,
He
but
really
also
does.
like I
It was
also
a thing
don't
in
want to
the
like
90s to me.
It
necessarily.
was the
Goofy-
90s. Yeah.
goofy.
Oof.
I don't even
That
think it's
was
necessarily a
true.
90s thing. It's like dressing up, like being a silly like local vendor or whatever, just to get attention or whatever. Like it's a little pathetic, but it's
Being
also
silly
like,
just to get attention. We don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know.
Wadka
What's it like to
Bob
be
would never.
My name
What's it
is
like to be
legally
less than
Wadka the
serious?
Mang.
Stains. TM.
I'm the most serious person you've ever met.
This is
And I have
serious,
no-
guys. Please.
We're
take
all
this
very
seriously.
Take us seriously.
From now on, let's be serious about those.
The Wadka Boys.
When you rate this podcast on Spotify.org, rate us seriously.
Why so serious? So he's got 3, I would say.
Two or three.
Three handily.
Patheticness, manipulation, and smug arrogance. I think we can clock them on those.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then maybe
Looking at Tyre is a ghost
And
ghost
maybe a
protocol,
little bit of
a ghost protocol.
Just not
That's a
sexual
ghost
deviancy,
protocol.
which is strange because that's a pretty common one.
So that's
It is. It's almost like definitive of a cooter. Like it's kind of rare to have a cooter that doesn't have sexual deviancy.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody else really to even
No,
discuss.
there's
you
nobody
know,
else to consider, really.
Yeah,
There's
so
nobody else well defined
Clark.
enough. So
Captain
Clark,
Clark, and
I
the
think, is our
Shrimp
cooter.
Shack shooters. We got him. Lock him up. Throw away.
Captain
the
Clark and the
Captain
Shrimp Shack shooters.
It's the mashup we didn't know we needed.
Chuggy motherfucker.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the most important segment of the show and talk about what else we've been watching this week.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Wadka Randy, what you've been watching?
Ooh, not enough vodka. And also just not a whole lot of a lot of things. Like there's a short list for me today. I've been watching Taskmaster. I've been like just watching old episodes basically of Taskmaster on YouTube, which I brought up before, but it is a silly little BBC, or I'm sorry, a silly little British show. I don't know if it's BBC or not. That is on YouTube. That is just comedians being tasked with silly little tasks meant to embarrass them, and then they are judged for them. And it's very fun and silly. I love it. Watch it. That's all I can say. I've also been watching Widow's Bay. I've caught up as of today, which is Sunday. Every Wednesday they come out with a new episode for the next couple of months, or couple of weeks. Got a couple more episodes to go. We're a little bit more than midway through the season 1. And I enjoy this show pretty well. I think it's a perfect blend between horror and comedy. I would say it's a slightly bends more towards horror than comedy. I don't know any of the actors in it besides Stephen Root, and as it turns out later in the season, Hamish Linklater, who was the priest in Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
Who I will love him forever for that role, but he's pretty great in this role as well. Stephen Root is, of course, Bill Dauterive and a billion other characters you've known through your entire life, and he's amazing. And then there's just a bunch of folks that I'm not familiar with, and it's a silly and scary show about an island that has a lot of horrible curses on it that leads to monsters of the week, as well as an ongoing narrative about the mayor who's somewhere, like I saw him compared to as a blend of the mayor from Jaws, who's determined to keep the island open despite the dangers, and Courage the Cowardly Dog, who's determined to deal with horrifying supernatural shit despite being terrified of it. So I think that's a really great description. I don't remember who said that. I apologize to you, but that's a great description of this show. And I was a little less than sold on it to begin with, even though I really loved and I was excited for the trailer. I think that I was let down by the first couple episodes because I was just expecting too much. As things have gone along, I've gotten back in. I think it's worth watching. It's on Apple Plus. I'll say that. I also watched that side story of the bear called Gary, after Gary, Indiana.
Oh, yeah. I still haven't watched that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know that like people are like down on like modern seasons of The Bear or whatever. I'm not that person. I'm very I like watching people's lives unfold. I like watching
your life.
I mean, I like watching realistic lives unfold. Art is
like just watching them.
I just like to watch people. No.
Unfold a little more.
I don't know. I really like it. I like folks dealing with their demons.
Just a little bit more.
Just a little, not too much.
I love
just
watch.
Just the tip. No, I really like it.
Crank one out after this episode.
Just one? You underestimate me.
It's about to explode.
No,
Damn. Live on air.
It's gonna be a marathon tonight.
So anyway, like to level set, this is like a maybe 1 hour special, like side event, like flashback episode of The Bear. So it involves John Barenthal and God, I can never remember this guy's name. The guy who plays cousin, going on a little journey to Gary, Indiana, to deliver an unknown package, and it's just like a slice of life stuff. I just love that. I could watch that no matter if it's how aimless it is. Honestly, I'd really like it a lot. And this particular like short or whatever, it's because it is meant to be perfectly contained. It is. So there's like a lot of drama within it, and there's a lot of pathos within it. There's a lot of like, there's a great arc to it. To me, I really enjoy it. Some people might not. It seems like maybe your mileage may vary on Bear more than I gave it credit for it to begin with. So whatever. That's fine. I really like it. I've never had a bad experience with the Bear, or its side projects. And this
or
is no
bears in
exception.
general.
Bears are just very friendly to me. They love me. We're great.
They're always buying me drinks.
It's nice.
Bears always buy me drinks.
Vodka drinks.
I do think that I would be considered a bear if I was in that community. But
Hello,
I'm not.
bear.
You know, bears don't often buy one for their own. They're not communal in that way. But
good to know.
I get a little bit
standalone bear.
That's a Sigmund bear over there.
I've talked way too much. Last thing I'm going to mention is that there is in my neighborhood, if I was to walk outside right now, I'd hear the bass drop because there is a EDM festival within a half mile of my home.
And someone's ripping ass outside.
It does sound a little bit like that. It's that.
Damn.
So yeah, I went to that the last couple of days because I got free tickets because I'm a local, because there's a lottery system and nobody signs up for it for me. And so I went and enjoyed, and I had a good time. Like, it's like a good people watching thing. Honestly, like, people are just having like fun. I hear a lot of my neighbors complain. Like, my NIMBY neighbors will sometimes complain about people having like too much. It's too loud. While like but that's really what it comes down to. Is like I go there. I'm like, these are just like a bunch of like kids having a good time. I'm way outside of the realm of the proper age to be there. Besides observing, so I just walk around. And then I leave, and I've done that.
Creep around. I just like to watch.
I like to leer at the young children.
Randy's just an anthropologist, fucked up on vodka, watching the kids, taking notes.
I'm just a drunk old man watching lives unfold. Young lives
There's
unfold.
Nothing
young lives with a lot of butt cheeks.
Just watching the bass drop.
I have had conversations with my neighbors where they're like very not on board with this, and I'm like, I don't understand it. You can't even hear it when you're inside your home. So anyway, all that to say, good for them. Had a good time. A little nice people watching event. That's it for me. All my shit's out in the open. You can look me up and probably.
You don't like to watch as much as you do, right?
Yeah. Juice. Juice,
I love the cuck chair. It's my favorite.
Glad we got it on record now. No, my turn.
Yeah, go for it.
I watched Nirvana. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Nirvana. Jesus, what is wrong with me? I watched that movie, and it was good. It was a lot of fun. Is that out? I mean, that's been out in the States, right?
Yeah,
okay. That's been out for a little while. Okay. So, I watched that. It was fun. Have you seen it, Bob?
No, I haven't.
I was not familiar with the web series it was based on back in the like 2000s, 2007 or something like that. So, but yeah, it was fun.
Oh my God, I'm finally back. I can chime in.
God damn.
I'm very excited
about the movie.
I really wanted to watch that movie in theaters.
Oh,
and I did not get the chance.
Oh.
And I just wanted to like ask you about it as somebody who's an outsider, which is like me. I don't know that much about like Nirvana, the web series or whatever.
Yeah, I don't really know about it.
I came in blind, but everybody I've talked to that has watched that movie has been effusively beyond praising of it. So like, I don't know. Like, you just think it's kind of fun, or like, is that it? Like,
no, I mean, it's a good comedy. Like, I guess we've talked about this a lot actually lately. There's not a lot of just comedy films that come out, you know.
Yeah.
But it also hits on that thing I talked a little bit, which it probably carries over from the early 2000s, so it's probably very appropriate now. The premise is that these two friends who are in a band together called Nirvana the Band. And I guess in the old web series, it was just like 10 or 11 episodes where they were trying to book a gig and they kept failing to book a gig. And so this movie is like just a premise that 20 years later, they still cannot book a gig. They're old guys in this ridiculous band, and there's this guy, they've always got a plan of how they're gonna book a gig. And then one night, so just to start out how it starts off, it's and like it gets ridiculous. They're gonna like skydive off this building into this like baseball stadium and announce that they're playing that whatever. But then one of the guys just gets tired of it and he calls a place and it's like, can I play like an open mic? And they're like, yeah, show up anytime, before 7:00 or whatever. Like it gets so ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. It's just a fun buddy comedy. They go back in time. Yeah,
that's not simple. You just broke the mold with that statement.
It's very silly. It's very ridiculous, but it's fun. It's a fun, light comedy. And yeah, I liked it.
Fuck, I've been wanting to watch it. When it came out into theaters, I was like dying to go see it, and I couldn't make it happen. And ever since then, it's been like on $20 lockdown by whatever streaming service. Yeah. So I haven't been able to watch it.
I think it's actually in theaters here now. So
oh really? Okay, yeah. I gotta try and get my hands on it.
Limited capacity, yeah. But yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And the only other thing I watched was a movie I'd seen before. It's a South Korean film from the 70s, and it's called Eodo or Eo Island. And it very much, it's funny because I was talking about it with somebody the other day, and I was like, oh, it's very much like kind of the Korean version of, feels like The Wicker Man. And I was like, it really makes me want to watch The Wicker Man. And it's a really good summertime horror. Because it's set on this island that's only occupied by women, and it's very summery there. Like, I mean, it's an island. It looks like very warm, and we've all been there. I wish. And so it's very much got like summertime or like warm horror vibes. And I was like, I really want to watch The Wicker Man. And then I just saw an advertisement like the next day, yesterday, about how my favorite local art house theater is showing The Wicker Man next Thursday. Nice. So I was like,
hell yeah, dude.
Hey, I'm getting tickets for that. So that's what I'll be talking about in a couple weeks for what you've been watching. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's not a very well-known film, but it's probably one of my favorite Korean horror films, and it's really well made.
What's the title again?
Eo Island, in English. So they spell it I-O Island, but it's pronounced Eo Island.
Adding it to the list, baby.
There you go. I think you can find it on YouTube, probably. I think it's in the film archives, Korean film archives. So yeah, check that out for the summertime if you want. That's all I've been watching. Who's up next? Bob?
Yep.
Have you gone? No.
Yep, me.
Bob, I'm going again.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, go ahead.
Dude, this past week I've watched almost nothing, but we did start
only the chuggiest shit.
We did start Andor, which is a show that I had really no interest in watching, but like everybody that has seen it says it's fucking amazing. So I was like, okay. Go ahead and get into Andor. It's only like 2 seasons, so it's not like crazy long or anything.
They have 2 seasons of that shit? Damn, I didn't know.
I thought it was one. That was the limited series, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, we watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and so far it's really very good. Still early to say that it's great. But yeah, it's got a Skarsgård in it. I'm really
based
digging
off
it
Rogue One,
so
right?
far. Yeah.
What's one of the characters from Rogue One?
Yeah, one of the main characters that I'm blanking on his name. But yeah, he's like the main guy in this series.
Is his name Andor? Because that would be very embarrassing for you.
No, it's not. I can't remember his name.
Are you sure?
No.
I'll look it up.
Maybe it's his last name or something. I don't know. Nobody calls him Andor. I do know that.
Cassian Andor is
Cassian. His last name. His last name.
Oh, yeah. Nobody calls anybody by their last names.
Well, not in the show. Not yet, anyways. I don't know. Yeah, what is that fellow's name? That's all I've really been watching though. Went down to Spooky Empire yesterday with some of the fellas and hung out in Orlando, which is if
Had some drinks, eh, Bob?
unfamiliar. Yes, we did.
Ooh, I heard about that.
It's a horror con down in Orlando. They have it twice a year. Went down for the summer one, and it was fun. They had like something different this year. They had a half pipe set up on the promenade with like dudes on BMX bikes doing backflips and shit, which was pretty cool. They had live music, of course.
That's horror, baby.
A bunch of people, dressed up in costume. They did, panels, Q&As, famous folks signing autographs, and vendors and stuff like that. So always a good time. Always look forward to going down for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I only bought one single movie. Juice, you'd be so proud.
What was it, Bob?
Mother's Day.
In triplicate?
No.
I don't know what that is.
You
don't know Mother's Day?
like
Come
it.
on.
Only one, Bob.
Come on. You wouldn't
Just
like
one.
it. Actually.
Wow, restraint.
I know. Look at me.
You're a man who knows restraint.
Look at me go. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. We don't have any voicemails because, yet again, this week nobody loves us. But if you'd like to call in and leave a voicemail to be featured on
The
next week's
comments
show,
have proved that.
God damn, you can call in and hit us up at 904-638.
Very disappointed in you.
3231. Next week, we're going to be back with the last you pick for the first half of the year with Miles B's pick, which is Chainsaw Man, the movie Res Arc from 2025.
Okay, Miles.
Man, we haven't done an
bringing the
anime
heat.
in a while.
Anime.
Bringing the heat, my guy.
Anime.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man.
Anna Miles here with the anime.
Wow.
You can
Based on a very famous manga, I believe.
What?
I actually don't know.
I have no idea what you just said. Those are words? I don't know.
Manga.
Manga, my guy.
This
you don't
movie-
know this manga, my guy?
This movie
Manga,
is
manga?
on. Oh my god, this movie is on.
That sounds
Crunchyroll.
delicious. I'll have anything.
You can watch Chainsaw Man the movie on Crunchyroll. You can also rent it on basically every platform. But to my
Can I read
knowledge,
the manga.
those are the only ways to watch it. Check out Chainsaw Man the movie Res Arc from 2025. Get ready for next week's show. Do you guys have any prompts?
in your face.
Any prompts for next week's show?
Any prompts? Got any
Yeah,
manga
tell me about your-
recommendations?
Tell me about your anime horror adjacency. I want to I don't. It's a very much a blind spot for me. Junji Ito is about the most anime adjacent horror thing I can think of outside of Perfect Blue, which we reviewed.
Tell me
Yeah,
about your waifu.
Who is your
What?
waifu?
Call in.
I don't have any pillows, if that's what you're saying.
Who's your straight
I'm
chillin'
not asking
waifu?
you, Randy. I'm asking the audience.
Oh,
Who-
tell
what-
me about your pillow waifu.
Call in and tell me about your waifu.
Who's your wadka waifu on the straight chillin'?
Is it Bulma?
Educate me.
Is it
Is it Bulma? Get out of here.
is it Bulma? Is it
I don't know what you're
Tifa
talking about.
from Final Fantasy? It's somebody with
Know
giant
any of
titties. I
these
know it is.
words.
In the shortest skirt that has ever been made.
Yeah, that's how it
Oh.
works. Apparently.
Looking
I
at
don't
you,
know.
Miles.
That's
Miles
my
knows the
limited
good stuff.
knowledge here.
Miles
Miles knows
good
the
stuff.
where the quality is with anime,
I hope
and
so.
He did
and
mention,
I'm sure others do as well. So call up and tell.
I don't know shit about Chainsaw Man, but he did mention this movie was his favorite movie of last year. So he's definitely a big fan. Yeah.
Spoiler.
And he's also he's a very he's this is a guy that's no slouch on
Here's a
watching
guy.
films. He's seen a lot of
No
movies.
slouch.
So no, I respect Miles' opinion. So
Here's a
I'm
guy.
excited
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
this despite not knowing a goddamn thing about Chainsaw Man and very little about anime in general.
Yep. Cool. Check it out. Get ready for next week's show. Call in. Tell us about your waifu. And until next week, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
Also,
I'm gonna
tell us
look for a
about-
guy with a round, muscular butt.
Tell us about your husband, Foo, as well.